If you wanted to find an intro video to me, you found it. I am Vector Hastings, author of Project Liberty 2029, which is a blueprint on how to take back our freedom from this fascist authoritarian regime and to then secure liberty and justice for all here in our beloved United States of America. Amen, America. Defeat and rebuild. These are the two distinct but interconnected steps. Here you will find me being serious, but also being silly, because we need all the spaghetti and all the kitchen sinks to throw at this. Sometimes I'm going to sound scary, like when I talk about the bonkers, insane troop standoff that's coming at us on January 6, 2029. I will also be reassuring, like when I talk about why we're going to win. It's because we just have overwhelming math in our favor. And I'll be wonky, because that's my inner muse. My background includes a lifetime of software engineering, so yeah, I'm a techie, wonky engineer fixer type. And it turns out that software and law are very similar. Both programming and law are sets of logical rules that give instructions on how things should operate. In computers, those instructions run on precise processing chips. In law, those instructions run on much less predictable processors. Judges, prosecutors, legislatures, sure, but also every single one of us. Because we use the rules of law as best we can to govern our own choices, right? Can I turn right on red here? Can I protest here? I will be unpacking a lot of material here on this channel. This includes laws and plans for actions that are on the wiki site. It's a wiki because I hope many people will participate in making these proposals better. Now, if I ever sound like I'm putting you down because I know better, I apologize. It is not my intent. Let me say that again because it's important. We are in this together. If my ego or ignorance is putting you off, then I am sorry for my fault in that. And I ask you to help me with comments to do better. Of course, I won't always apologize because sometimes I will in fact be right, even if you disagree. Most times we may just find ourselves in an honest disagreement, and we will do so respectfully from me, because the truth is always better discovered together. I am a human being with mortal limitations. When I am wrong, I will seek to improve. And as long as you are supporting freedom, I beg you to help me do a better job reaching out. Now, if you're supporting this MAGA regime or just trolling for fun, then I will not have any patience and you will not be welcome here. But for those of us fighting this, I am always humbled by what so many people are doing. And in that vein, I hope you will find what I offer here to have some wisdom for you. If you watch or read me for a while, you may also sense that I often think a little differently. The proposals I'm offering reflect this. It's late October 2025. Have you yet heard a plan for how to remove the Attorney General from the power of the President? There are a few tiny voices I found on the edge of legal academia calling for it. Why isn't this more of a mainstream demand? It's the grip of orthodoxy, and an odd one, because 95% of us live in states that do not have a unitary executive branch like our federal government. The framers of the Constitution debated this point, and they were well warned that the unitary executive was a baby tyrant just waiting to grow up, and now it has. Let me round out a few things about what you might want to know about me. In addition to always being a programmer, I've also been a paralegal for over a decade. I fell into that because I was doing computer support for a law office that was saving people's homes from foreclosure after the securitized trust breakdown. We were doing it without bankruptcy, but as those foreclosing forces managed to close off the legal remedies we were using, our practice shrank. I stayed on and took up some slack as paralegal work. I have also lived in the past. My wife and I lived in Transylvania for 2 years back when the 21st century started. Back then it was a place that was so remote, there were no phones. It was like living in Hobbiton, full of ignorance, but grace, and also full of lessons in how we all used to live before modernity took us over. It's the way the founders lived. I'm also a father, a husband, and a maker, and I've been through quite low periods. I had meningitis when I was 4, and it may be the root of a disabling vestibular condition I had for over a decade, and more recently I caught long COVID. I have fought my way back to health over those years, but it has been a mighty struggle. Your engagement here can really help me and my family, so please like, message, subscribe. And if you can at all, a paid subscription on Substack or Patreon would be of untold value to me and my family. And would also be a big help to bringing a huge amount of proposals that are written but still need work to get up to the wiki and get explained to you and anyone else who will hear it. Things like universal basic income, a share of all income paid for by a fair tax the wealthy cannot avoid, one that only needs a majority to pass into law, voting rights for all, fair commerce reform, data rights, nature rights. I hope you can tell I have a breadth of work to get out and you can help with that subscription. Or if you want to lend your expertise, there's the wiki. I identify 10 stages of the struggle between now and when we need to defeat them in 2028, and then I plow into the swift actions we need to take in 2029 to restore our freedoms before the fog of forgetfulness allows them to regroup and make another assault on our way of life. If you want to help, go to stage 0, and there's a guide on how to start improving the documents. So in closing, I believe in America. She's never been perfect. Yes, she's been awful to many, but if you consider the alternatives, she's usually been on the better side, and especially since the New Deal, since Franklin Delano Roosevelt laid out the 4 freedoms. Freedom of speech and freedom of worship were 2. And we've had those until now. But he also called for freedom from want and freedom from fear. You and I are living through history. History will barely remember any of us. I expect my part to be small. Yet I hope to share that small part with you because, yes, I believe in America, in a nation founded on freedom, one that strives to give us these 4 freedoms to all of us. We live in a world of abundance. Freedom from want and freedom from fear are possible, but the trumpet and his handlers and millions want to separate us from that. They have a chance to succeed, but I believe they will fail. There are too many of us. All we must do is remember Benjamin Franklin and hang together to avoid hanging apart. I believe America shall win back our country from these fascists, and I know that when the day comes that light shines on the destruction they have wrought, that there will be many things that we can never fix. Lives that ended early, trust that was broken, scars that can never be healed. We must take this pain and make service to it. We must echo Lincoln in our time. We must build back with wisdom that we have gained from our transgressions, and we must renew our promise that our nation, conceived in liberty, shall not yet perish from this earth. Not so long as we the people still stand. Thank you. And as always, Amen, America.